My name is Mai Nguyen, and I'm receiving my master's in social organizational psychology. My family emigrated from Vietnam. We left the last day the U.S. pulled out of Saigon. That's April 30th, 1975. And so we went from Saigon, we made our way to the Philippines, to Guam, and then from Guam, we entered the United States and went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And that's where there was a refugee camp called Indiantown Gap. And we met my grandmother. Her name is Donica Ajamovic. She's a social worker and the director of that camp. And she met my dad, and I think they just got along really well. And she decided to help us relocate. And at the time, a lot of Vietnamese families were going out west, and our family actually moved to New York. And that's how we ended up in Queens, Floral Park, Queens. And we lived in this one-bedroom apartment, all 8 of us, for I think the first 7 years, and then moved to our house, which down the road, and actually we still live. Undergrad at Wellesley College, graduated in 1996, and I majored in women's studies. And, got a phone call one day from a headhunter, and then made my way to Goldman. I started in November 1999, and started in a group with 2 attorneys, and they needed a paralegal to join them. And so from November 99 to when I left, October 2011, from the course of the time period, I trained every person that joined our group and helped to create the culture of the group, the team dynamics, the policies, procedures. And then I did a short-term assignment in the Global Leadership and Diversity team at Goldman. And that's when my synapses started firing. When I talk about diversity, this is where I could actually do diversity work. And I was charged to take care of the Pride events for the firm and to work on the career development initiatives for women in the securities division. So that work enabled me to have exposure to different groups and to understand that there were things happening in the system, but I didn't have the facility, the vocabulary to speak about it. And so I thought, when I don't know something, the first thing I do is do research. And I'll do exhaustive research and figure out, okay, I have all this information, and then make meaning from it. And so that's what I did. I started to look at grad schools, I started to look at other avenues, and then I came across TC, and I read the description of the social organizational psychology program. I'm like, oh, this might be a good fit. And I already knew I was going to leave Goldman to embark on a different journey, but then now that unknown became known, because I knew I wanted to do this. I am standing now, but I have a different foundation. It's stronger. I think that even the way I express myself or the way I think, it's just become enriched by the learnings and from people that I've met along the way, and the faculty who've been incredibly supportive and challenging. And probably my favorite memory is probably last semester, fall semester, where I took 4 classes, and it just seemed everything clicked. They were from different departments, but there were 3 org psych classes, but there was 1 adult learning. But all these classes just seemed to fit. It literally seemed like I planned it, right? I would go from one class and learn something, and then the next class it would just leverage off from what I just learned. So this whole idea of scaffolding was kind of amazing. It's bittersweet. I wish my dad was here, but he's here somewhere. He really instilled education as the most important thing to do and to help you along your life, and really just incredibly grateful to have this opportunity. I took a risk, I invested in myself, and I knew that if I just put the effort in and just stuck with it and persevered, that I would be able to come through. And I just didn't come through. I mean, I like to say I learned, I conquered, and I did it the way I wanted to do it. And that has made all the difference.